Porsche 963, RSP, the road-legal Le Mans Hypercar. Half a century ago, Porsche built a legend on these very roads. In April 1975, the factory-fresh Porsche 917 chassis number 30, the era's most advanced endurance racer, was driven off the track and straight onto the public highway. Its owner, Count Teofilo Rossi di Montalera, Count Rossi, insisted on as few changes as possible to take this pure race car on a 400-mile journey to Paris. That 917 remains in France to this day, a living relic of a daring era. Now, to mark the 50th anniversary of that audacious road trip, Porsche has resurrected the spirit of the Count Rossi 917. The result is the Porsche 963 RSP, a one-of-one, road-legal hypercar based on today's championship-winning 963 Le Mans prototype, thedrive.com. In Porsche's own words, it's a one-of-one project that pays homage to the Count Rossi 917 in the 50th anniversary year. In sleek Martini, silver and tan leather, it looks and feels like a dream from the past given life today. Porsche is literally throwing it back 50 years with this car, complete with a full leather interior, thedrive.com. But don't call it a museum piece. It's a real race car that Roger Penske's team can drive on the road for special demos and events. This is not a plastic model on a shelf. It's an engine-roaring tribute, bridging eras. Porsche has always had a flair for creating ultra-exclusive Rennsport specials that blur the line between fantasy and reality. Motortrend.com. Think of the unforgettable 935 Moby Dick of the 1970s, a singular beast of a race car originally built for the track, but now a legend among collectors. Or consider the modern 911 GT3R Rennsport, a track-only Porsche limited to just 77 cars and 620 horsepower. Motortrend.com racing. Porsche.com. These high-dollar, low-volume specials don't really exist for the average driver. They exist for dreamers. In today's Porsche lexicon, Rennsport, German for racing sport, has come to mean the purest expression of track bias. Cynics will say cars like the track-only new 935 and the 911 GT3R Rennsport are irrelevant to anyone but the handful of owner collectors who get their hands on them, writes Motortrend. Yet for car enthusiasts and dreamers, the mere existence of these near vaporware creations is thrilling. Motortrend.com. They're like unicorns in the automotive world, almost too rare to believe, but they are real. And here we have the newest unicorn, a one-off Le Mans hypercar that can almost roam the streets. Porsche's legacy of limited-run halo cars includes everything from the Carrera GT and the 918 Spider to racing prototypes that flirted with road legality. The 963 RSP carries that lineage with pride. By specifically invoking the Count Rossi 917, itself a one-off street-going racer, Porsche taps into its own mythology. It's no accident that the RSP shares the same silver and tan livery and bespoke leather interior as the 917 that stormed to Paris in 1975. This is a rolling museum piece, yes, but also a fiercely modern machine hiding under its retro skin. Underneath, the silver body. The 963 RSP is all 21st century racing tech. It uses the chassis and hybrid powertrain of the Porsche 963 LMDH hypercar, which already earned Porsche multiple championships in IMSA and the World Endurance Championship. Porsche's engineers started with the 963's carbon fiber monocoque and Kevlar bodywork, the same Le Mans prototype that won Daytona, Sebring, and multiple world titles. Motortrend.com, and then handcrafted a series of bespoke changes to make it road-friendly and historically reverent. The exterior was faithfully rendered by Porsche's Sonderwunsch special request team in Stuttgart and Atlanta. They stuck closely to Count Rossi's 1975 choices: a silver and black color scheme painted with a triple-layer Martini Silver, lacquer verified from museum records, and a tan leather and Alcantara interior. In fact, instead of a vinyl wrap, the modern norm for race cars. The RSP is painted just like that original 917. Even small bits, hinges, wing connector panels, are finished in satin black to match the vintage look. A 3D printed 963 RSP badge graces the rear, echoing the period 917 livery. They reworked the body lines to feel more like a 917, not just look like one. New vents were added on the front and rear fenders so the car's wide wheels can breathe. A digital design by Sonderwunsch and Porsche Penske Motorsport. The fixed carbon fiber flaps that the Racing 963 normally uses to comply with LMDH rules have been removed, and even the nose gets a throwback detail. An enamel Porsche crest instead of the lightweight sticker you'd see on a pure racer. Throwback Michelin logos from the 1970s sit on the tire sidewalls, and OZ 18-inch forged wheels wear rain-spec treads with vintage styling. It even has mounting points for license plates on the nose and tail, proof it's meant to be driven, on roads, at least ceremonially. Inside, the 963 RSP is where it truly sheds its racing garb. The bare, Spartan cockpit of the race car is replaced by a handcrafted cabin worthy of a classic sports car. Every surface, from the roof lining to the pillars, is trimmed in soft Alcantara or tan leather, echoing the Count Rossi car. The single-piece carbon bucket seat is still a racing shell, but Porsche added leather padding down the center and even air conditioning, so the captain, Roger Penske or whoever drives, can actually sit in it for more than a lap. The steering wheel, too, is wrapped in leather, and a playful 3D printed cup holder appears near the dashboard. Other comforts make their way in. A new leather and Alcantara panel behind the seat holds Penske's radio headset and a special laptop. Yes, a laptop that starts and controls the car's systems. Even the HVAC vents wear end plates mimicking the fan atop the 917's flat 12 engine, a subtle nod to history. And peeking at the door, you'll find a little alloy plaque that proudly states this car's one-off chassis number, along with the date and place of its birth. Mechanically, few changes were needed to make this beast tolerable on real roads. The ride height is raised to the max, and the Multimatic DSSV dampers are set in their softest setting for a bit of compliance. The lights are given headlamp beams for the road, turn signals and horn are wired in, and of course those Michelin rain tires with tread. Replace the slicksmotortrend.com. The powertrain itself is virtually unchanged. It's still the hybrid twin-turbo 4.6-liter V8 from the RS Spider and 918 Spider lineage, mated to a battery and MGU for hybridboostmotortrend.com. Porsche engineers even got approval from the FIA and IMSA to legalize this endurance prototype on the street, thedrive.com. The only concession, they remapped the electric motor output to be smoother for road use and reprogrammed the engine to drink pump gas instead of exotic race fuel. The story of how this car came to be feels like a secret agent's tale. In October 2024, during the Petit Le Mans race at Road Atlanta, Porsche, Cars North America CEO Timo Resch quietly gathered a handful of insiders. In Porsche parlance, it was a submarine project, something developed under the radar by a tight team, thedrive.com. The question on the table, what if we built a road version of the modern 963, inspired by the spirit of that Count Rossi 917? According to Resch, it was exactly a what-if passion project. Resch, Porsche Motorsport VP Thomas Laudenbach, and factory LMDH director Urs Karatla sketched out the dream. Take the championship-winning 963 and let it roam public roads. They presented the concept to Roger Penske and Porsche Penske Motorsport's John Diugid, the American racing magnate who has shared a storied history with Porsche since the 1970s. In his own words, "We have enjoyed a terrific relationship with Porsche dating back to 1972, Penske recalled. The Porsche 91730 was one of the greatest eras in Team Penske history. With such a remarkable partnership continuing to this day, we felt it was time to create the most exciting car we could imagine. Just like the 917, I wanted this car to be authentic to its origin and have as few changes to it as possible. So, Roger Penske became the car's customer and inspiration. He even lent his initials to the name. RSP stands for Roger S. Penske. Every step of the build bore his input, from insisting on that classic livery and leather to requesting it feel every bit like the racer it is. When Porsche proudly debuted the 963 RSP on the eve of Le Mans 2025, it rolled out on public roads beside the very 917 that had inspired it. Three-time Le Mans winner Timo Bernhard took it for a spin, the first of a very few drivers ever to pilot a streetable Le Mans car. This one-off has already become a museum piece in waiting. It will tour the racing world, on display at Le Mans, then in Porsche's museum in Stuttgart, and even alongside its grandparent 917 at Goodwood's Festival of Speed. But ultimately, it will find its home with the captain himself. Penske is set to take delivery at Monterey Car Week, and until then we can only imagine his grin behind the wheel of his custom-built race car. Specs: powertrain, hybrid, 4.6-liter twin-turbo V8 from the Porsche RS Spyder 918 lineage, paired with an electric motor generator unit and lithium-ion battery. Total output is about 680 horsepower, sent through a 7-speed X-Track sequential gearbox. No horsepower was sacrificed. It's the same tune as the race 963. Chassis and body: LMDH spec carbon fiber monocoque and Kevlar composite body panels, identical to the endurance racer. Bodywork is finished in Martini Silver paint, triple layer, lacquer, with black satin accents, enamel Porsche badge on the nose, vintage Michelin logos on the tire walls, unique fender vents, and a simplified rear wing, no end plate ducts, give the profile a 911-like silhouette. Suspension: Multimatic DSSV double adjustable dampers from Prototype Racing, set to the softest road-legal setting, ride height at maximum clearance. Racing spec uprights and carbon components keep unsprung weight low. Brakes and wheels: oversized. Carbon ceramic brake discs, front and rear with racing calipers. Forged 18-inch OZ racing wheels shod with specially labeled, treaded Michelin wet weather tires. Slicks wouldn't be legal on the road. Interior: bespoke tan leather and Alcantara trim everywhere. A single-piece carbon fiber bucket seat with soft, leather padding and fixed headrest takes center stage. The seat and leg pads are air-conditioned, just like the race car, but with added cushions for comfort. Steering wheel trimmed in leather, doors and dash in Alcantara. A quirky 3D printed cup holder is mounted nearby. Above the dash, a dashboard panel holds Penske's headset and the laptop needed to start the car. The air vents feature custom end plates evoking the 917's engine fan design. Even the door sill has an alloy plaque with chassis number and build date. Equipment: the RSP gained street essentials, operable turn signals, headlights and taillights with road-legal beams, and a hornmotortrend.com. License plate brackets are installed front and rear. All the racing essentials remain: a full roll cage, 6-point harness, fire suppression system, Penske's custom carbon fiber racing helmet, and a tailored snap-on tool chest with the same leather accents come with the car as finishing touches. Performance: Porsche quotes 1,680 HP, and the car tips the scales at only about 1,050, 1,100 kg, 2,300, 2,400 lbs, motortrend.com. That means staggering sprint speed, roughly 0 to 60 mph in the low 2-second range, despite having only 680 HP thanks to its extreme lightness. Top speed will be limited by regulation to around 340 km/h, 211 mph. Regardless, this one-off is effectively a Le Mans prototype you can fire up with a key. The Porsche 963 RSP is more than a car. It's a storybook come alive, a bridge between Porsche's golden racing past and its high-tech present. It embodies the passion of dreamers, Those who imagine a Porsche 917 thundering down a country lane as much as a modern hypercar hunched over prototype tracks. For car lovers, collectors, and racers, it's a symbol of what happens when genius meets nostalgia. Voiceover. And for all of us who live vicariously through simulators and video games, the 963 RSP is an invitation. Imagine sliding this silver bullet through the chicanes of Le Mans in Gran Turismo, or cresting the hill at Goodwood in iRacing. Whether in real life or in pixels, the 963 RSP will make you feel like a kid again, behind the wheel of a legend. Reborn. Voiceover. In the end, cars like this keep the engine of imagination roaring. The dream of that Count Rossi drive has lived on in our minds for 50 years, and now it roars on as the 963 RSP. It reminds us that in Porsche's world, history is always just a shift of the gearbox away. So, dream on. The 963 RSP is waiting for the next chapter of its legend.